Alright, welcome back to another video with me, Big Dan Math, and today I'll be doing factoring, and with the example of 4x squared minus 24x minus 160. And so the first thing what we have to do here for this example, or for all the examples, is look for the greatest common factor, if any can be found. And so for this example we have 4. We can use 4 as the greatest common factor, and we can divide all this by 4, which would make it way more simpler, which would be, after dividing by 4, would give us x squared minus 6x minus 40. And so this makes it much more simpler to work with. And so the next thing what we do here is multiply 1, and we get 1 because it's 1x squared. 1 times negative 4, which would give us negative 40. And we had to find two factors that multiply to the negative 40, but they had to add up to negative 6. And so the perfect factors would be negative 10 times 4. And the reason for why it wouldn't be, for example, negative 4 times 10 is because negative 4 times 10 does equal to negative 40, but if we add it up, it would give us positive 6, not negative 6. So this would not work. This would, because negative 10 times 4 does multiply to negative 40, but it doesn't add up to negative 6. I mean, it does add to negative 6, which is why we would use these factors instead of these factors. And so after finding the perfect factors, we had to substitute the negative 10 and 4 instead of the negative 6, which would be, this is how it would look like: x squared plus 4x, and then minus 10x. And then we subtract negative 40. So if you notice here, I just substituted the factors of negative 10 and 4 from the negative 6, and I added an x to both of these factors. And the next thing what we do here is put parentheses around the equation, which would give us parentheses x squared plus 4x, and then parentheses negative 10x minus 40. And so what we do here after that, what we had to do next is simplify these factors even more. And so for this one, the common factor for both of these would be the variable of x, which would be x. So to make this simpler, it would be x parentheses x plus 4, because x times x would be x squared, x times 4 would be 4x. And so the common factor of this factor would be negative 10, because it would make it way more simpler. Because if you notice here, negative 10 times x would give us negative 10x, and then negative 10 times positive 4 would give us negative 40. And if you notice here, we have the same basis: x plus 4 parentheses, and then parentheses x plus 4. And if you get the same base, that means you're doing it correctly so far. And so after that, we take out x and then negative 10, and we put it in its own parentheses. So we have parentheses x minus 10, and then we take out the x plus 4 and put it in its own section. So we have parentheses x plus 4. And so these are our factors to get this. If you want to get this, to get this, but we had to get this, as this was the original equation of factors. So we had to add in 4 to give us the correct answer. As we divided it first, we took out the greatest common factor to make this. And so this is our final answer: 4 parentheses x minus 10 parentheses x plus 4. And so the reason for why we put the 4 is because we took out the 4 at the beginning to make it more simpler. And so yeah, this is our answer. Thank you for watching.